Some days deliver quiet insight, but this weekend delivers truth. A kind of truth that demands our full attention. There's a pressure building. And it's not in a panicked way. I don't want you to think that, but in a way that tells us it's time to know what we know, to name it, to claim it. Because when clarity arrives at that very last second, it doesn't whisper. It lands like lightning. This is one of those rare moments where what we say, what we think, what we choose, what we commit to can shift the entire direction of our path. So don't be surprised when something clicks. A message, a decision, a piece of wisdom that's been circling, but it finally locks into place, or it's finally connecting all the dots. The question is now, are we brave enough to trust it? Okay, join me. Okay, and we will dive into understanding how to embrace this energy. By the end of our time together, it's my hope, it's my intention that you now have the insight, the wisdom to go forward with a confidence, with a clarity, with love. So hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the positive, loving support you send me each and every day. I've had a frog in my throat now for about a half an hour straight. Welcome to your weekend focus. June the 7th and the 8th, 2025. On Saturday, we have the energy of the 7. The 7 is about bringing in balance, harmony, joy, love to our environments, but I think more importantly to our relationships, the people that matter in our life, and grow those relationships deeper and stronger. Be present in those relationships. If we look at the daily numerology for Saturday, it would be a 6 plus a 7 plus a 9, and that gives us a 22 energy. The 22 energy is a master number. The 22 energy asks us what we are focusing on, what we are putting our attention to, our energy towards, our time, our resources perhaps. What are we showing up for each and every day? What are we doing? Because under the 22 energy, what we are working on, what we are focusing on is coming to us at a quicker rate. Now, that sounds great unless you are worrying about the bills that have to be paid and there's not enough money in the bank account. And so we don't want to attract that kind of energy into our world. So especially on Saturday, we want to be saying our intentions. We want to be speaking from a place of passion, celebrating the things yet to come in our lives. On Sunday, we have the energy of the 8. Now, the 8 energy is all about growing our prosperity, our stature, our strength, our wisdom that we can go forward to understand our capabilities of how we can create, how we can give birth to, how we can invent the life of our dreams. But really under prosperity, money, finances. The daily numerology for Sunday would be a 6 plus an 8 plus a 9, and that gives us a 23 energy. And so, yes, there is a very strong energy around us this weekend that we have to put our belief, we have to put our faith into ourselves, into something greater than ourselves. And 2 plus 3 is a 5. So the 5 energy is about being present in the moment. Now, 5s can be very busy energy, so don't be surprised if you're busy this weekend, especially on the Sunday. Lots to do. But the 5 energy is about being present in the moment and creating laughter and joy and smiles and memories. It's about letting our creative energy flow, our inner expression flow. Sun is in Gemini, Moon is in Libra, and Mercury conjuncts Jupiter. Pardon me, I've got a sip of water. I know I don't have a cold or anything. It just started, but Oh, that's a lot better. Let me clear my throat. Hang on a second, guys. Let me pause this for a minute. Okay, I'm hoping that's a little bit better. Mercury conjuncts Jupiter. Now, it is super intense because it is happening at 29 degrees of Gemini. But I think we've talked about that before, the 29th degree in astrology. This is the moment that the conversation changes. And maybe it's not even one we're having out loud. Maybe the dialogue is happening within us. The thoughts we've been pushing aside, the questions we've been avoiding, the dreams we've been holding back on. Maybe because we just don't know how to put it into words. But today we want to be heard, and not just heard, but understood. This isn't a casual energy, a light energy. We've had a lot of light energy lately. Mercury meets Jupiter at the 29th degree, the final degree, the last chance to gather all that we have learned in this sign of duality, of curiosity, truth-seeking, before everything shifts. Okay, and so over the next several days, what's going to happen? Mercury will be going into Cancer. Jupiter will be going into Cancer. And yes, I will have blogs out, hopefully, for both of those things with the astrology for you so that you can look at your own sign and understand how to best use your energy during this time to step into the success and go with the flow of the energy. There's a wisdom surrounding us. And yeah, it can change the way we think or we speak, we plan, we believe. And it's not out there in the world somewhere. It's not for us to go and look for it. It's within us, waiting for this right moment to click. And this is that moment. It's a powerful day for communication, especially if there's been something weighing on your mind or your heart. A conversation, a pitch, a confession. Mercury gives us the words, and Jupiter gives us the wisdom to use them with purpose, to expand our world. So write it down, get it out, give it form. Maybe you're journaling, maybe you're drafting a plan. Maybe you're just trying to capture a powerful idea on paper. Don't let today's insight that comes to you, or this weekend's insight, I should say, to pass by. Take the time out to think about that thought. Because the thoughts that come through right now are often seeds intended for future planting. Make bold decisions, make declarations. What you commit to now holds power. And with Mercury and Jupiter together, thoughts and words can become overwhelming. Absolutely. We might overshare. We might mentally spiral, and we don't take the time to ground ourselves. You ever walk away from somebody and said, why did I tell them that? Why didn't I just leave it nice and simple like I had planned? So we could be doing a lot of talking and a lot of thinking. A lot of imagination is spurred along this energy to bring in the expansion into our world, the abundance to our world. So we have to take the time to ground ourselves. Okay, but there's going to be this temptation to fill every silence or to explain everything in detail. We have to remember that silence and simplicity can be just as powerful when used correctly. We could jump to conclusions. We could exaggerate. So be mindful. And be mindful of what you are able to do. Like, be careful that you are not promising something that you cannot deliver. With Jupiter especially conjuncting with Mercury, it changes Mercury's energy to, it could bring in a sense of, I know best. So we need to stay curious. We need to keep the conversation mutual. We can easily forget to listen. So stay open. Allow others to share their voice. Hear what they are saying to us. This is a defining moment. Mercury conjunct Jupiter at 29 degrees of Gemini. It doesn't just offer us insight. It hands us the mic. It says, speak. Like, think of this as a closing argument in your own story in some part of your life. One last chance to express what's true, to decide what matters, to align our thoughts with our future. Let the energy carry our voice, our ideas, our plans. And we don't need to rush. We don't need to perform. Think with purpose. Act with clarity. Choose with clarity. Because once we step beyond this degree, the chapter changes. And what we say, what we choose, what we believe today shapes what comes next. Okay, let's go to the cards. Yeah, I will have blogs out for both of those signs going into new signs and what it means for us personally and as a collective. So check out your sun sign, read your rising sign as well. It's there for you. Okay. Our underlying energy, look at this, the Knight of Swords. Oh, we want to go. We want to jump on our stallion. We want to hold up our sword and we want to yell charge. It feels like we've been going this slow pace, but right now this energy comes into our lives. This excitement, this will to go forward towards successes, to the endless possibilities, knowing our capabilities, actually over knowing our, this is where ego could get a little strong too. Like, I can do this. I can take on the world. We go after success. Failure is not in our vocabulary, but it is a knight. So a knight is not a king. It's not an emperor, not an empress. So we have to keep in mind that it's a young energy that we're feeling. So we have to what? We have to ground ourselves. Absolutely. And that could just be a couple of deep breaths. King of Cups. Know that you are fine. The people in your life, the money you make, the clothes you wear. This is a card that says make sure that you are fine, that you make enough money to put the food on the table, the roof over your head, or maybe you care for others as well. And that's part of your responsibility. People respect you. People love you. You love people. This is checking all the boxes for, just basic survival, but making sure that our foundations are firm, strong, so we can build upon them and make lasting changes in our life. So it starts, at the basics, right? Whenever we kind of hit walls in our life, and trust me, next week there's a lot of walls to hit. Back it up a little bit. Breathe. Think about your decisions. Think about where you're at. Thinking about where you need to put your focus or your attention or shake things up a little bit in your world. Because when that abundance comes in, we want to be able to keep it. And I don't mean to hoard it, but to make sure that our foundation is strong enough that something doesn't come and pull our attention or our focus or our resources or our time into a different place, and this disappears in the meantime. That we're building something with structure, something that can withstand the test of time. Ten of Cups, the happily ever after, the best life ever. This is what we're looking at. This is what we are dreaming about. Where do we want to land? Well, the Ten of Cups is we've got the castle, we've got the partner, we've got 2.5 kids, a dog, a cat, a white picket fence, whatever, floats your boat. The happiness, the joy, the sense of fulfillment, the sense of love. We have those things. So how do we build that into our life? Where do we need to use our voice? Where do we need to state the truth? Where do we need to allow our passions ignite into purpose? And when the Magician, the Magician and the 22 energy come up in the same reading for this weekend. Wow. Talk about a strength in magic around us, in looking towards what we want to bring into our lives, and it appears. This is the time when we can manifest. And it's up to us what we want to manifest. So what do we tell the Magician we want? Do we just talk about our problems to the Magician and we end up with more problems and bigger problems and different problems because of it? Or do we talk about the life we're going to have? The life we're stepping into? The person we are becoming? But we talk about it like it's already here. And we get excited about it, and a smile goes ear to ear. Because we're buying into the emotion of it all being here for us, and trusting that the magic is paying attention. And it may not show up today, it may not show up tomorrow, it may not show up for several months. Maybe there are things that you need to do along your path that you must learn, that you must walk through. In order to be able to accept that, back to the King of Cups, accept that and be able to keep it. Okay, it's not like you win the lottery and then 3 years later you are claiming bankruptcy because you weren't strong enough in the basics of your life to keep it. So we don't want to start building our empire if we don't have the structure of our foundation strong. And I think that can kind of go by the wayside when we have this kind of transit. So we want to be making sure that we're paying attention to what we are asking the Magician for, what we are saying in our thoughts, what we are thinking about in the present moment, what we are trying to create or give birth to or have a passion for. Okay, let's see what our oracle cards have to tell us. And we have... I really can't make this up. We have Make a Wish. Oh, I love Spirit. Oh my goodness. They never cease to completely amaze me. Yes, I've been out in my yard. Oh my gosh, I was so dirty and sweaty and yucky today when I came in. Had a shower and it still didn't get all the dirt from under my nails. My goodness. Oh, as a child, you may have encouraged to blow on a dandelion and make a wish as you blew the seed blossoms from the stem, and they would be carried to the wind. On the wind, so your wish could be fulfilled. This card is a gentle reminder to set clear intentions about what you wish for in your life. You're being asked what you would like. At this moment, anything is possible. Your best life ever. Anything is possible. If you were given one wish, what would it be? What would you wish for? Trust that your wish will be granted at the most opportune time and in the manner that supports you in the fullest. So there we have it. Make a wish. We have the Magician there. We got the 22 energy. And we get Make a Wish. So make a wish. Or 2 or 10. And what do our animals have to say? Well, we have Rejoice with the Cardinals. Rejoice. So we have rejoice, strength, confidence, red, and joy. In the sight of blue skies, if the sight of blue skies fills you with joy, if the simplest things of nature have a message that you understand, rejoice, for your soul is alive. Cardinal wants you to know that you need to rejoice instead of feeling sorrowful. You must spend extra time and energy to secure your own happiness and the relationships around you, including with yourself and your higher self. It's also a time for you to add color to your life, which could involve your wardrobe, your surroundings, adding a higher energy people to your life. There could be a person on the other side who's trying to contact you. They would have had a strong faith base, maybe even Catholic, as cardinals are named for the cardinals of the Roman Catholic Church. This person is on the other side, would have been a faithful and loving partner or a parent. The song of the cardinal is sweet, strong, and clear, and demands attention. Oh, it is a beautiful song they sang. Rejoicing isn't about ego, but about confidence. So spend time in nature. Fill your soul with simple things. Your life has been chaotic, and you've forgotten how to see the beauty around you. And there has been a lot in this lately, right? About seeing the beauty around us. So I invite you to not only see the beauty around us, but to see the beauty within you. What needs to be said? What do you want to step into? Where do you want the expansion in your life? Where do you want the growth, the prosperity, the abundance, the love, the well-being? These are the kinds of questions you want to ask yourself today. And give yourself the most beautiful and amazing answers. Fill your heart with joy. Get that smile ear to ear when you just have the thought of it coming true, what it would be like. And expect it to show up. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.